This Power Perspective, Creating an Inclusive Downtown, is sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Please welcome the Director of the Planning and Development Department for the City of Detroit, Antoine Bryant.
Inclusive, to embrace. As we begin to think of what it means to be inclusive for downtown Detroit, we have to think about what does it mean to be inclusive. That is the aim to include and integrate all people in the activities, the initiatives, the programs, the projects of an area, but especially those that have been discriminated or disadvantaged over time. So as we think about downtown Detroit, I'm going to leave you with one thing. If you don't remember anything for the next 9.5 minutes of what I say, I want you to leave you with one thing: that a vibrant, active, and inclusive downtown has absolutely nothing to do with the buildings that are erected, and has everything to do with the people that are selected. I'll say it again, act like we're in church. A vibrant, active, inclusive downtown has absolutely nothing to do with the buildings that are erected and everything to do with the people that are selected. Selected to do what? Selected to be attracted, to be included, to be welcomed. To welcome someone, the act of greeting someone with pleasure, with kind courtesy. When we think about courtesy, I also think about the South. I spent 17 years in Houston, Texas. And while we were there in 2003, wait for it, there were a bunch of surface parking lots. And on one of those surface parking lots, they had this idea of, we're going to put an urban park here. We're going to put an urban park. It was immediately met with derision. That's a ridiculous idea. It's way too hot. It's way too humid. No one goes downtown. If we put it downtown, then those people are going to come. And this was an idea that was met and killed and lampooned. It opened in 2008. 13 years later, Discovery Green is the most popular amenity in the city of Detroit. It is buffeted by not one, but two four-star hotels. It was the site and staging for the Super Bowl 4 years ago and is easily now the most diverse part of that city. When you go 250 miles west or so, you hit Austin, Texas, still referred to as the live music capital of the world. On 6th Street, it has been an active entertainment venue since 1886 and has consisted of people from all over the city and now globally that will go to Austin specifically and exclusively to go to 6th Street because that place is welcoming and open and inclusive to all. But in addition to that, there's a level of ownership. And so then when I hearken back to Detroit, I cannot think about ownership in this city without going back in history and thinking about Hastings Street. Hastings Street, many attribute and think about Black Bottom, think about Paradise Valley, on this less than 2-mile long strip. Just outside of what we are considering downtown right now, over 300 African-American owned businesses were located right on the street. And so as why we address not only the elephants, but the mastodon in the room, if you will, in a city of Detroit, whereas 77.9% of the residents are African-American. When I listened to residents across the city and I asked them, hey, what do you think about downtown? Downtown's nice, but I don't know. Downtown's cool, but I don't know. Downtown is all right, but I'm not sure if I feel comfortable when I'm downtown. And so I said, well, as when I talk to residents, when I talk to vendors, they say they go out of their way to make sure people feel welcome, but people said that's not necessarily the same as feeling comfortable. And so what is comfortable? That is the state of being of feeling at ease, content. And so how do we draw and ensure that all residents here in the city of Detroit feel comfortable? How do we ensure that we have activities that are diverse, that we have venues, that we have places where people can eat and shop and dine, and experiences that they can have are comfortable? Well, I think we are making headway. We're starting to see these kinds of things occur. We're starting to see these kinds of venues open. And when they become more valuable and become more present, then the residents there become empowered. They begin to see that this is my downtown too. And so when people then feel like this is our downtown, they start to come more. They start to visit more. They start to have more activity. You begin to see one another. A thing I kept hearing was, I don't go downtown because I don't see people like me. Well, I was like, if you don't come downtown, you're not going to see people like you. So it becomes a circular discussion, but it's one that is changing. The changing is coming as we speak. And it's something that is exciting as we begin to see not only people feeling empowered, but feeling inviting. And so I made a very quick analogy at the beginning about how we're going to take y'all to church. And so as you go to church, you know, you get welcomed. And then if you come a couple more times, you feel comfortable. And once you're there and become involved, you get empowered. And then once you begin to feel that this ministry or this particular church is also for you, you begin to invite as well, right? You begin to invite others downtown. You need to come to my downtown. My downtown's the best downtown ever. You need to invite more people. And so we have successful models, such as the programs here at Midway. My kids, I have a 14-year-old and 11-year-old. They think that we have memberships to Midway. They would love to come here all the damn time. And it's something that has been done successfully because there are offerings there at various price points. There are diverse things for them to do. And they know when they go, they can always meet a new friend. And so we make it a point to make downtown a part of our schedule. I don't live anywhere near downtown. Live in the city, work downtown, but don't live here. And so how do we ensure that this place continues to be one that has offerings, that has something where all of the residents will begin to feel like it's ours? I'll leave you with a couple things of import. Let's continue to diversify our activities. The Kwanzaa celebration that was held just about a week ago was a tremendous success. And I think it was a tremendous capacity for all of us to grow, for all of us to feel like this is a place for us. We have dining options that are there. And let's continue to diversify our dining options so that people all over this city can know that this is a downtown for them. Let's continue to reach out to our residents, to reach out to our friends, to let them know that downtown is ours. But most importantly, while we leave out of this stadium, while we leave out of this space, I want everyone, whether they're from Joy Road or whether they're from Indian Village, whether they're from Palmer Woods or whether they're from Banglatown, when they come downtown, when they tell others about downtown, they should feel as if they're at home. Thank you.